Fielding, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So did you understand how we're gonna do this?
Sure.
Yes or no? Are you
Yeah.
sleeping? Come on, buddy.
Okay.
Okay, so a couple of things. We are recording live on YouTube, just so you know, and we're going to record this too. We're recording it, so.
Okay, so let's go.
Okay, so go. All right, so thank you for participating in this webinar. This webinar today is about the FIFA rules of futsal, and it's myself, Andrea, we have Alvaro and Marcelo, and so yeah, we're just going to go through select rules that we've that the guys have deemed appropriate to make the play more consistent in where we are.
So let's go. So we would like to talk briefly about all the rules, but in this webinar we are not going to have time, so we're going to focus in a few rules. But before go over the rules, just to make a separation, we're going to talk only about futsal and the game that is organized by FIFA. So if we take a look at the futsal organization in the world, so as soccer, FIFA is the government body around the world, and then we have CONCACAF, which organize North America and Central America. And then we have here in Canada, Canada Soccer Association. And then we have BC Soccer Association, which is the local body government, and BC Soccer organize soccer and futsal as well. Basically, the rules are the same. So as the interpretations are the same, but once we are talking about a different game than soccer, so futsal has some rules that are different than soccer. Okay, so those are the rules. So the first 8 rules: so the pitch, the ball, number of players, players' equipment, referee, assistant referee, duration of the match, start and restart of the play. We are not going to go over all of those, but we're going to focus in a few of them. So rule number 9 is ball in or out of play. The methods of scoring: offside, fouls and misconducts, free kicks, penalty kicks, kick-ins, goal clearance, and corner. So if we compare, again, let's compare a little bit to soccer. So we need to go here and there to make this more understandable for everybody. If you get a soccer FIFA's book and a futsal FIFA's book, the structure is pretty much the same. 17 rules, same sequence, to make it easier to everyone. The rules that we are not going to focus too much, but yes, in this slide here, we're going to talk briefly about some of them are the ball, players' equipment, referee, assistant referee, duration of the match, ball in or out, method of scoring, and offside. We're going to focus in other rules. So Marcelo, would you talk a little bit about some of those rules, or do you want to go over the next one?
I think like you're gonna over. I think if Jaden has any questions, I think it's good to give some examples every time you specify like which kind of rule you want to explain. So for the experience we have about the game, sometimes you have the rule, but the rule is just right there. You need to bring this for the game, how it works really.
So just specifically about the ball, the difference between the balls are: in soccer we have for adults size 5. In futsal is similar to a size 4 of a soccer game. And the younger you go in futsal, the smaller the ball is. So we have U11 balls, U13, and adult balls. Basically, those are the 3 sizes that we could find out there to play with our players. Players' equipment is basically the same as soccer. So you need to use shin pads, you need to use socks, shorts, and you need to have numbers in your jerseys. So pretty much the same as soccer. Goalies, gloves are not mandatory, you can either use or not, but normally goalie gloves in futsal, you don't have this final part here. So it's like bare, I don't know if this exists, but bare finger.
Mhm.
So you don't have this top here and then a futsal goalie glove. Referees, assistant referees, if you go to the book, FIFA's book, you're going to see lots of duties and responsibilities of what they have to do during the game. This is basically what they have to do is make sure that that game is the players and what's happening in that game are following the FIFA's book. That's their job during the game. Marcelo?
So, bro, about the uniform futsal, if your official game, you needed to have a number in front too. So it's a number like in soccer in the back and in the front, because they take notes every time you make a foul, goals, everything.
Mhm.
So that's the difference. When you watch the games, you can see numbers in the front.
Duration of the match, normally 2 periods or 2 halves of 20 minutes. And every time the ball is out of play, we stop the clock. So actually, the game will be played for 20 minutes with the ball in play. This might be different because you can adapt the timing, but official mats, international official mats, that is the timing, 2 halves, 20 minutes each. Ball in play and ball out of play is the same as soccer. So if the ball goes out of the boundaries, out of the line, either on the ground or in the air, the ball is out. Okay. Method of scoring: as soon as the ball goes inside the post, in between the 3 posts, like the 2 posts or the crossbar, and goes in and past the line, then is a goal. You cannot score use your hands, but you can score with all the other body parts. Okay. Offsides, simple. We don't have offsides in futsal. Okay. Completely different than soccer. Any question, Jaden?
No.
Okay, good. I like my audience. So let's go. Oops. Go here. So we're gonna focus on this rules here. The pitch, number of players, start, restart of the game, and then rule number 12, fouls and misconducts, free kicks, rule number 14, penalty kicks, rule 15, kick-ins, and then the following one, goal clearance, and then the last one, the 17th rule is the corner kicks. Okay, so before we go over this, you can see some difference between football and futsal here. So we play in futsal 5-a-side, and then in football we're going to have 11-a-side. So here is the game length, like 2 20 minutes, and then in soccer we are going to have 2 45s. Every time the ball is out of play in futsal, we stop the clock. In soccer is a running clock. Timeouts. So every coach has one timeout per half. In futsal, in soccer, we don't have timeouts. The size of the ball is here, comparing the two sides of the balls. The futsal balls, we have less bounce and they are heavier than a soccer ball, and then they are smaller. So a few things that we went over already. The subs in soccer, we have only 3 for adults, and in futsal is on fly. We have some rules for that, but they are on fly. Kick-ins in futsal when the ball goes out of the touch line, and then in soccer we have the throw-ins. When we go and we talk about the starting from the goalie, we have in futsal we have goal clearances, and then in football we're going to have the goal kick. We're going to go over this rule later here, but back passes to the goalies or goalies participation here, what they are trying to show here is in soccer or in football, you can touch the ball and the goalie can use his feet, is unlimited. He can touch the ball anytime he wants, how many times he wants or he needs. In futsal is a little bit different. We're going to talk later about this, but you can participate only once per ball possession in your half. So, and you have to release the ball in your own half within 4 seconds. So that's the rule, but you're going to go over this later on. And when we talk about fouls, in soccer, unlimited. And in futsal, you have a specific rule that says if you make more than the 6 and over the 6th, you're going to have a PK from the 10 meters mark. We're going to go over this later on. Cards are pretty much the same as soccer, but again, we have a different rule, slightly rule that makes it completely different for the game. If you have someone sent off in futsal, your team is going to be like a power play in hockey. You're going to play down one player for 2 minutes, or if within 2 minutes someone scores, then your team is allowed to put another player and make the same number of players again. Time for limit to restart the game. In soccer, none. In football, none. In futsal, you have to restart the game as soon as you are ready to start the game within 4 seconds. Okay. Referees, soccer, 1 central referee and 2 assistants. In the past, linesmen, but assistant referees. In international official matches in futsal, normally 2 referees, the referee and the assistant referee. And then we still have the 3rd referee in a futsal official game, and we have the timekeeper. So, in an international official game, you can have 4 people taking care of the game. Okay, so those are the differences between the 2 sports. All right, the pitch. So here is a picture from a futsal court where we can see all the marks. We can see this yellow area here is the technical area where the benches are. This central area here in gray is where the timekeeper and the 3rd referee, they help and work in the game. And then we're going to have the 1st referee start running on this side where the benches are, and the 2nd or assistant referee running on the opposite side. So marks here that are very important are the central mark, the central line here. The penalty kick is here in the area, the penalty area. And the 2nd penalty kick mark, or 10 meters penalty kick. So here where we take the penalty after a team, they make 5 or more than 5 fouls. Okay, we have the goal. It's pretty much similar to a soccer, a little bit different. And then we have this rule, this mark here, which is going to be important to understand the distance in a goal kick or a corner kick when you are taking one of those. So if we have a kick in here, the player needs to be by this imaginary line here, which represents 5 meters away from the ball. So that's the distance you need to respect. Okay. Still talking about the pitch. This is another vision, and a few marks here. The distance between the marks in an official pitch. In international matches, we are going to have a court 20 by 40 meters. This is going to be an official international match, but normally FIFA allows countries to play in between 18 wide to 22 and no longer than 42 meters a futsal court. Okay. Fielding. Any questions about the pitch, Marcelo? Anything you would like to talk about?
No, I think like the most is easier, like 20 by 40. Like 20 by 40 is a size normally we find, like the nationals. And I guess it's fine.
Fielding?
No, it can be played outside as well?
Oh yeah. You can have outside courts, of course. You can have, normally you're not gonna see an international game. When I say international game, I'm talking about Canada versus whatever, USA, for example. So this sort of international games, you're not gonna see in outdoors, only friendly matches, but official matches you're gonna see indoor normally. But yes, you're right. Futsal can be played outside for sure. So here we have a video that represents this rule.
So this kind of pitch fielding never seen, because here you have a lot of lines. This is official.
The radius of the center circle is 3 meters, while the penalty area is made up of 2 quarter circles, each with a 6-meter radius from the outside of each goalpost. There are 2 penalty marks, the first 6 meters and the second 10 meters from the center of the goal line. 2 additional marks, each at a distance of 5 meters on either side of the second penalty mark, must be made on the pitch to indicate the distance to be observed when a free kick is being taken from the second penalty mark. At each of the 4 corners, a quarter circle with a radius of 25 centimeters is drawn inside the pitch. A mark must be drawn outside the pitch, 5 meters from the corner arc and at right angles to the goal line, to show the distance to be observed when a corner kick is taken. The substitution zones are situated on the same side of the pitch as the team's benches, directly in front of them, to allow easy access to and from the pitch. The goals, which are placed on the center of each of the 2 goal lines, have a distance of 3 meters between the inside of the posts, with the crossbar 2 meters above the ground. Nets are attached to the posts, with a depth of at least 80 centimeters at the top and 100 centimeters at ground level. The goals must have a stabilizing system that prevents them from overturning. Portable goals may be used as long as they're as stable as fixed goals. Law 2.
So yeah, that was the video for Futsal, the pitch. Keep going here with our presentation.
So actually, Alvaro, I have a question. Are there any, where we live, are there any official futsal sized courts? There are. Is there one in the Richmond Oval? That's it, right?
Marcelo?
Law 1.
They
Do you
have
know any
one.
Any other?
They have 140 by 20 in the end, and the other they are 17, 18 by 38.
Okay.
They are not like 20 by, but they can do, if they take all the courts there, they can do big, they can put all the stands.
Okay.
They can do official game here. They're supposed to do, but
Okay. But there's really only one place, and that's in the Richmond Oval. I can't think of any other places, right?
I think like if Capilano, they talk to me about Capilano, maybe.
Okay, so maybe the university gyms.
I never been, yeah, university
Okay.
gyms, they supposed to
Okay.
to
Cool.
make like in Fraser Valley. They have
okay.
three gymnasiums and 2 are together. Fraser Valley for sure they can do a big 20 by 40.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so coming back here to the sequence, now we are on rule number 3, the number of players. Basically, in futsal, this is for all ages. So since you start as U5 or U6, whatever age you are starting in this game, normally if you're going to play, we play 5-a-side, go all the way to adults. So 1 goalie and 4 outfield players versus 1 goalie and 4 outfield players. So that's the way futsal is played. There's this second rule here, or the second part here of the rule here, says that this is something that has been changing. Nowadays, FIFA accept that. So a match can start with 3 players on the court only. So if only 3 players in an international match shows up, which is going to be very, I don't remember one game that started like this, an international match. No, but the rules is there. And we can understand that we can use this rule for other tournaments, other leagues, and so on and so forth. So a game can start with less than 5 players, but not less than 3. Okay. The game is ended if one of the teams is down than 3 players. Substitution, completely different than soccer. So to make a sub in futsal, the teams, they don't need to talk to the referee. You don't need to communicate with the referee. You just, the coach or the player that wants to play, or someone, or even the player on the pitch can ask to come off, and someone can play on his place. So when I want to sub someone in and off, I just call the player that is playing on the court. That player runs out of the pitch as soon as he or she move out of the technical, these 2 dashes here, in between these 2 dashes in front of his or her bench, then the outside player can play. I mean, the player that are waiting on the bench can play, can make the sub in. Okay, so nowadays, the player that is coming in needs to hand out a penny. So if I'm going to play on Marcelo's spot on the court, as soon as he's running off the pitch, I give him the penny, he holds the penny, and then I can play. So I am part of the game right now, and Marcelo is resting on the bench. And as I said, the subs need to be made in between this dash mark and this one, located right in front of your team's bench. Okay, so if we go to this video here, we can see, oops, we can see a demonstration of this rule here in one game, Brazil, Japan. So this is in the middle of the game.
World Cup.
Yeah, so the sub is going to be made by Japan. So here on this bottom part of the court. Could you see? So the player number 17 is off the pitch on the left side, bottom left side of the pitch. Number 7 here, he wants to make a sub. The bench is yelling to someone to come off or something here. And then someone is on the pitch, they make the sub. The yellow object here is a penny. So they are using the dash mark right on the edge of the dash mark. There's no problem. So number 7 now is a player, and this guy is gonna rest a little bit on the bench. Okay, so this is the way we should proceed to make a sub in an official futsal match. Another video here, another way to understand a possibility to make the subs is when the player on the field, he is tired or something happened and he wants a sub. So here is Barcelona and Corinthians. So you're going to see a Corinthians player asking to make a sub. So as soon as he finished the attack, he's going to put his finger in the air, showing to the bench that he needs a sub. And then someone on the bench, this is tactical. So the André Biel, which is the coach, and the players, they know who is going to sub that player off. And then the next opportunity, that player Rafael, which asked the sub, is going to come off, and someone is going to play on his spot. Here we can see this. We're not going to see in this video the whole thing, but you could see another way to proceed, but they were respecting the rule. This is more tactical than the rule, but it's something to show that is different than in soccer. Okay, so if we go, let's share here again. There's lots of back and forth today. Where is here? There you go. Fielding. I know you know basically of this, but any question about subs?
No, it's clear.
It's clear? Good,
Yeah.
good. So this is what the rule says. So the player needs to use, oh, this is sent off. Sorry. So when we are playing five-a-side and someone is sent off, one of the referees, which is the third referee, needs to take notes on the time where that player was sent off. And then after 2 minutes, if nobody scores, if the attacking team, the one that has more players, doesn't score, the other team, whoever is down, can add another player and play five-a-side again. We have lots of situations in the rules. We are not going to go over them, but basically is if my team is playing down one player, so I have 4 players on the field playing against 5, if we take a goal, if the team that has 5 players score a goal, my team now can add another player right away, add another player. If we are playing for 2 minutes, 5 versus 4, and this team, the one that has 5 players, they don't score, right away my team can add another player. Okay, this is the rule. Okay, so now we're moving for another rule. Marcelo, do you want to complement that part?
No, I will have like you on the tail, and the two teams has 2 red cards. When the 2 teams has the red cards and one team score, you don't replace the player. You keep. There is some details in the rules about this.
Yeah. If we have a different number, we are using only one as an example, but as I said, we have lots of situations, lots of ifs.
Yeah.
And yes, as you said, if you have 2 players, the teams are down 2 players or 1 each side. If someone scored, they keep the number of players till the end of the 2 minutes. They don't replace another player. But again, if we go over all of those situations, it's going to be too much because I remember taking.
This is curious because I saw here when the guy sent off, the guy scored, the guys replace, and the other team go and score again, and the guys replace. That doesn't make sense. So, with the rules. So I saw the Richmond a few years ago.
Okay, but basically this is the rule. If someone is down 1 player, one team is down 1 player, if they can hold the other team, the attacking team, whoever has more players, for 2 minutes, they can add a 5th player. Or if the team that has more players score 1 goal within 2 minutes, right away, the team which is down 1 player can add another one. Okay, here, restart of the game. We add this rule here basically to again make a point and compare the difference between soccer and futsal. Soccer nowadays, to start the game, to kick off, you can play the ball either forward, backwards, or sideways. It doesn't really matter. You can play anywhere. In futsal, it still is mandatory to play the ball forward. You have to roll the ball or pass the ball forward to start the game. You cannot pass the ball back or pass the ball sideways. As long as the ball crosses the half line, then you can make this pass forward or sideways, but the ball needs to pass the half line towards the attacking goal. So another important rule that is different right now in futsal is you cannot score by kicking the ball right away from the kickoff. In the past in futsal you could, now you can't. So this rule has changed a few years ago. And as all the starting or restarting situations like corners, kick-ins, free kicks, PKs, whatever, and kickoff is the same, the ball must be stationary. The ball cannot be in movement. So basically we put this rule here to represent and to explain why we are so picky sometimes to ask the players to play the ball forward is because of the rule. Simple rule.
Because you are conservative.
Another thing that once we don't have the rules, the lines in all the pitches here in BC, we don't have the circle, the central circle in all the courts. But even if you don't have the circle, we need to respect 3 meters during the kickoff.
The volleyball line.
Volleyball, if we,
The volleyball is 3 meters. Volleyball.
If we have if we have, we can use the volleyball. Fouls. We have a very interesting video, Fielding. You're going to work a lot.
The video, Luca is playing. Luca was playing. The
yeah. So free kicks. So basically, if you do one of these 7 things here, is a direct free kick. So kick or attempt to kick someone. Remember, there's an or here. Kick or attempt to. Okay. Trips, charges, pushes, tackles, jumps at an opponent, and strike or attempt to strike. Fielding, can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you find, I would like you to find here sliding tackle in any moment in this presentation, okay? Because that's the question normally the players ask or the coaches ask us, that futsal you cannot slide tackle, and it's different right now, has changed. So I can give you the answer. You're not going to find here any information about sliding tackle. So if it's not forbidden, it's allowed. Talking about this, indirect free kicks, we are going to hold a little bit this. Let's go to the video. And then I wanna hear from Fielding. From some.
Oh, by the way, we have other participants who are on. So if anyone has any questions, yes, if anyone has any questions, please be able to put them in the Q&A and we'll get them answered.
So let's go. So hi guys, this is Albert here. We are gonna show a video right now talking about the rule number 12. We are gonna go over a few plays. Am I sharing my screen? No. I wanna listen from you if you think this is a foul or not. The video won't bring any sort of information. Look, Marcelo, the video won't bring any sort of information. We have only lots of situations, I would call. And then I would like to hear from you, it is a foul or not, and how do we restart the game? Okay, those are the 3 things.
He can shout. Jaden has to shout, foul, no.
So let's go. First one here. Again, look the goalie.
The goalie, look at the goalie.
Question. Was Fielding was a foul? Yes or no?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess.
Did he even?
Yes, is a good answer.
Play on.
I guess is a good answer. Does anyone has a different answer from him?
Okay, well, Silvio's on the line, so he should be chirping in. Oh, wait, here. Somebody said dangerous move, indirect free kick.
Oh, there you go. We have a referee over there. Yes. Yep. So again, we are not going to have any sort of comment other than ours. So we can chat about this. And of course, referees we can have a different point of view. So no problem at all. So let's go. This is an official match as far as I'm concerned.
Jakarta.
Look the. Let's go this again. Look this sliding tackle, not because of the sliding tackle, but because what's happened in that play. Foul or not foul? The referee is not on the picture, so what do you guys think?
Yellow card.
So for Marcelo is a foul and yellow card. Yep. Anyone, Andrea?
Oh, I was muted. No, no one has a guess.
Come on. Only Marcelo? Going
Only
once?
me.
Only you.
Only me.
Yeah. The ball, the guy's light tackle, but he touched the player. So in my opinion, it would be yellow card, as Marcelo said, direct free kick. So I'm gonna let this video
Yeah,
go.
sorry, can you rerun it again? Somebody asked if we
same?
can just run it
Oh,
again.
okay.
Yeah, run
The same
yeah.
one? Yep.
Yeah,
problem.
the one that Marcelo was the only one who answered.
Okay. Now look, we have a
He said he touched the ball. The ball, I touched the ball.
yeah, the player will say they always touch the ball, of course. But yeah, my opinion, he touches the player. He can barely touch the ball, but he touched the player first. So that's the point. So
Mm.
Who did now? Yellow or, blue or white? Who did the foul?
It wasn't mean
fouls?
to do that.
Sorry.
White.
Not, yeah. Not,
Yellow.
Why yellow?
Why? Look
Yeah.
where the ball. Look where the ball is going.
he kicks him.
Who
Oh,
touched
yeah,
the ball?
okay.
White
Yeah,
touched
okay.
the ball forward, and yellow was late.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So we are showing this video is I believe is the official game. This one official situations for that place. I really don't know where this game is taking place.
Jakarta,
but
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Jakarta.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but the level of the game, if you compare with Brazil, Japan, and Corinthians, Barcelona, is completely different. So the lower the level goes, talking about the players, the lower the level goes, the hardest to be a referee in a game. Because look at this, boom. So because of the technique or because of the game knowledge, so we have a lot of effort, a lot of guys running and tackle each other. So makes referees' life completely difficult. Okay, so we're gonna see lots of this, trying to get the ball but hitting the player, and sometimes the referees won't call anything. Okay, so those are most of those here are direct free kicks. Guys, technology is killing me. I'm sorry about that. So any questions about this this video here?
I'm not seeing anything.
Okay, so moving forward right now, we're gonna see indirect free kicks. Indirect free kicks. We saw a few of them over there. Actually, only one, the goalie, when he almost kicked the other player's head. So when you play in a dangerous manner or impede the player to progress in a present of the opponent, this is indirect. Basically, what's the difference between indirect and direct is the contact. So if I'm playing and I'm challenging the ball and I try to hit the ball and I hit the player, there was a contact, basically is direct. If I don't, if I put my foot in the air too high, but I don't have any sort of contact with the other player, basically this is going to be an indirect free kick. So the number 2 here is prevent the goalie from releasing the ball. I don't need to have contact, but if I am standing right in front of the player, so this is obstruction. So I'm not allowing him to play or her to play. So this is indirect free kick against my team. This is tricky, but if I commit to one of any of the direct fouls against my teammate, the referee is going to blow the whistle and call an indirect free kick against my team. So some of the actions that can happen, for example, if I spit in someone else in the game, this is a direct free kick. If I spit on my teammate, this is indirect because it's my teammate, for example. Yeah, going forward here, after playing the ball.
Only indirect free kick, you don't accumulate for the numbers of fouls to be the 5 fouls that you have the direct free kick.
Yeah, we're going to talk about accumulative foul, I think in the next one, maybe.
Okay.
I think so. Just to finish the indirect here, we have the goalkeeper situation. Goalkeeper are allowed to touch the ball with his hand or handle the ball inside its own penalty area. If he touches the ball outside the penalty area, it's going to be a direct free kick. Okay, so if I'm a goalie and I move out of off the box for any reason and I handle the ball off the box, it's direct free kick against my team. Okay, the rule that we are going to focus a little bit is this one, number 2, the second part here. Basically, the goalie has only one participation per ball possession. If the goalie participates more than once in his own half or her own half, it's going to be a free kick against his team. If the goalie holds the ball more than 4 seconds, and by holds the ball, what I'm trying to say is keeping the ball possession for more than 4 seconds, it's going to be a free kick, indirect free kick against his team or her team. So basically, the goalie is a normal player. He can play using his feet. He can play out of the box. He can throw the ball anywhere on the court, even in a goal clearance. We're going to go over this in the future. But he cannot hold the ball or keep the ball possession for more than 4 seconds in his own half. Okay? So if I play the ball, if I'm the goalie and I pass the ball to one of my teammates, and that player plays the ball back to me, if I touch the ball inside my box, indirect free kick. Okay? If I touch the ball outside the box, indirect free kick. So if I'm participating in that play for the second time, indirect free kick against my team. Okay? So that's the goalie participation, indirect free kick against the goalie. Again, we have lots of situations, lots of ifs. They don't happen quite often during the games, but at some points they're going to happen. So if you have more, if you want more, we have the FIFA's book, the last version we can send out, but FIFA's website, you can download for free the book. When you have a lot of if situations, one of them is like Marcelo was explaining during the sent-off situation. So we have lots of if situations over there. Okay, Marcelo, do you want to add something in this?
No, this kind of peak situation, goalie hand at the ball, pass back, something like this indirect, gonna happen a lot in the games here. So low level, more mistakes, and the goal is gonna hand the ball. My ball.
So basically, the 1, 2, 3, and 4 items here are the ones that I was explaining. So all situations where we are going to have indirect free kicks when a goalie is playing actively on the ball. Okay, free kicks. That's where we are, Marcelo, now, the accumulated fouls. So if you want to talk about the accumulated fouls, go ahead, enjoy.
No, the accumulated fouls is only the free kicks. It's not the indirect. So you can come, why? Because you have the contact. That's the best explanation when I ask the referee. So you can commit a lot of indirect free kicks. They don't accumulate for. I think the yellow cards, they if you complain, like someone in the bench, they used to accumulate. I think they still doing this. So you make it 3 fouls and 2 guys receive yellow card for complaint. You have 5 fouls. I don't know if the guys changed this, but nowadays it's, so that's the
Yeah,
point.
because when we talk about the disciplinary aspect, if it's a foul, is a direct foul, we can count as accumulated fouls. So what we are trying to explain is if we have a direct free kick, we are gonna add this and accumulate those fouls. So if my team on the first half or the first period, we made more than 5, so the 6th, then we are gonna have a free kick from the 10 meters PK spot. Before that is a normal free kick from where the free kick was made, where the foul was made. So we stop the ball there, we prepare the wall or not, and then the players are going to play. But if you have 6 fouls in the same period, then you're going to take a 10 meters PK. Again,
10
we
meters
have,
or less. Or less, no, Alvaro. If I have a free kick 1 meter for the area, I can choose to kick from
yes,
there.
again, we are going to have different situations, as Marcelo was explaining. What he's explaining is if I have a free kick, let me come back here to the court.
Yeah.
If we have a foul, our team is playing, attacking in this court here, in this net here, and then the foul, the 6th or the 7th foul, and so on, happens behind these 3 dots here, the 10 mark PK or the second PK kick, and these 2 dots here. Try to imagine an imaginary line here. If the foul is happening in this huge area here, so the team brings the ball and take a free kick from here without a wall. That's the PK 10 meters from the 10 meter mark. What Marcelo is saying is if the foul happens in this area ahead of this line, so here, for example, if we have a 6th foul happen here, the team can choose if they want to take the free kick from here without a wall, or move the ball here and take the free kick without a wall again. So either situation is without a wall, but as Marcelo was saying, if the foul happens in this area here, attacking in this net, you can choose to either take from here or drag the ball all the way to the 10 meters PK mark. Okay.
Yeah, that's all. I talk if you have close to the in front of the net, the guy can kick, but sometimes the guys do so many practice for 10 meters, they prefer 10 meters because they practice repetition, the distance, the shooting. So sometimes the guys say, okay, I'm 6 meters or 7 meters from the net, but I go 10. So you can see like this happens.
So is there an advantage to doing to 10 versus like doing a 5, or it's more of just personal preference? Like,
yes, that is advantage why you practice all the time 10.
Okay.
You're gonna have most of the games you're gonna happen the situation.
Okay.
And you have one player, normally he's specialized this.
Okay.
It's like a penalty for him.
Okay.
So he doesn't care. You go there. What's the point is, this goalie will be only 5 meters. There is a line close to the the area 6 meter inside. That was the line for 5 meters. So you have 6 meter to 10, 4. 1 meter inside the area is the goalie. When you go like 7 meters that you are now facing the net, a little bit diagonal, also 8 meters, don't think the goalie gonna respect 5 meters. So that's the first point. The goalie is not respect this distance because there is not that line the referee can check because he needs to be behind. The second point is about the practice. It's about like the guy to feel comfortable for the practice. I have some situations like 6 meter. And my player prefers 6 meter, of course. I'm 6 meter. The goalie need to be close to the line. I can choose. I can kick the ball. I'm gonna smash the goalie. 6 meter. You can boom the ball and smash the goalie. But
Okay,
I have
Yeah, no,
some
that
nice
makes sense. But we have a comment too, and they're saying 10 meters because the player has more angle to score a goal.
You have like the World Cup in 2012, Brazil had a chance, but Rodrigo kicked the goalie safe. But it's another point that you accumulated for the second half for the extra time.
Okay.
So if you second half you are a team that you stop too much the game, you're gonna suffer in the extra time because you're gonna be you continue for the second half the fouls in the extra time. So extra time you're gonna have like 10 meters for sure, 10 meters.
Okay. Yeah, and the other comment is in 6 meters, you have little angle to score a goal, just one side of the goal, which is easier for the goalkeeper to cover. So again, it makes more sense if you're back at
Yeah,
10.
makes sense. Okay. When they organized the second PK, it was 12 meters. It's
Oh,
12
okay.
meters. But it was more for the what's happening, helping the goalie. So this is 97. They changed in 2000.
Okay.
So 3 years just the rule worked 12 meters. They changed in 2000 for 10 meters. And I have
Okay.
a player, they kick the both. So it's the same specialized 12, the guy 10, he said, oh, now.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay. So when we go to the second half, like we count every half, every period, all the teams start from 0. So if you made like 5 fouls on the first half, second half, you start with 0. But as Marcelo was saying, if you need to play an extra time, the numbers of fouls that you made on the second half, you carry to the extra time. So that's one, again, another if situations that we're going to have in the futsal rules. So as in soccer, so as in basketball, so all the sports, we have the main rules, and then you need to understand all situation by situation. Okay, so here are the free kicks. The next one, if I don't remember here, is PKs. Yep. So PKs, again, different than soccer. In a PK here, you must kick the ball forward, which is like soccer, but you need to kick to score. You cannot pass the ball forward and then someone try to score. You have to kick to score. Okay. Set up. The goalie needs to be in the line, like on the line, on the goal line, like soccer. He can move sideways, but he cannot move forward before the shooter touches the ball. Similar to soccer. The only difference, and is very important, you have to kick the ball to score. Okay, like in the 10 meters PK, okay, you have to kick the ball to score. Okay, positioning, if you talk about players positioning, either in PK or 10 meters. So if you're taking the PK, the PK or the 10 meters shot from here or from here in this net, goalie will be on the line, shooter will be normally in this area here, and all the other players, they need to be, try to imagine there's an imaginary line here, an imaginary line here, and the other side is the same, imaginary line here, imaginary line here. So if you're not taking the PK or if you're not the goalie, you need to be either here or here. The only thing, the third player, the goalie on the other team, on the attacking team, can be inside his own penalty area. But all the other outfield players, they must be in this imaginary line here, imaginary area, to give an opportunity for the goalie and for the taker, the shooter, to make this clear to everyone, understand who is going to take that PK. Okay, or that 10 meters kick. Kick in. So when the ball goes out of the court, either on the ground or in the air, by a touch line, is a kick in. Soccer, we have the throw-in. Futsal, we have the kick-in. I can't score directly from a kick-in. So if I place the ball on the ground and then I kick the ball in the court and the ball goes straight to the net and end in the back of the net, it's not a goal. The goalie who just concede that goal will restart the game with the goal clearance. So he gets the ball and throws the ball. Done. But again, if situations, if I kick the ball, same example, and the ball hits somebody, including the goalie, and end up going inside the net, then is a goal. Okay, that's the difference. The ball must be, again, the ball must be stationary because we are restarting the game. The ball must be stationary. You can place the ball on the line or off the pitch. Off the pitch means you can place the ball. We're not going to have any line to show this, but there's a measure like 25 centimeters off the pitch. That's the place where you max you can place the ball to take the kick in. Okay. Ball must be stationary. Oh, your balanced foot. You can step on the touch line and kick the ball in. You can step off the court and kick the ball in, but you never can touch the ball with your entire foot inside the court to take the kick in. So if your foot is out of the court, you're good. If your foot is slightly touching the line, it's fine. But you cannot place your foot entirely on the court. And the ball is in play when it gets in the court. So we do have never ends in futsal. Okay, so if the ball is like 20 centimeters away from the net, is far from the line, if I kick the ball and the ball never ends, you retake. Okay. Anything, Marcelo?
No, it's fine, but you can use this kick the ball if you hit someone. 3 seconds left.
Oh yeah.
So how many, okay, so I have a question. How many times can you screw up the kick in?
Oh, good. I like the word.
Why?
I like the word. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. So if it's like this, if I'm making a mistake because I don't know the rule.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is interpretation and game management.
Okay.
If I have someone, for example, that doesn't know the game, he's there playing the game, but we know that those teams, they are there, they don't know the game. They're making mistakes because they don't know the rules.
Yeah.
Then of course you're going to ask to retake.
Okay.
Retake. And then of course, if they don't understand, you turn over, give the ball to the other team, and then they're going to take. Official mats. If someone make any mistake, like the ball is moving and then you take, you're going to lose the ball possession right away.
Okay.
If you take more than 4 seconds, futsal is a 4-second game. So that's one thing that I think I haven't said anything. This is a game where every restart, free kicks, corners, goal clearance, PKs, everything, you have 4 seconds to take.
Okay.
If you don't take within 4 seconds, you're going to lose the ball possession.
Okay.
Okay. And then the opposition will take that ball and they're going to restart the game by doing the same thing. Okay. So if someone is doing this because they want to waste time when you're playing a tournament, when we are playing a running clock, then the referee probably will turn over and give the ball to the other team. But according to the rule, if you make a mistake, turn over right away, let the other team take, life goes on.
Okay.
But
Thanks.
again, game management. Are they experienced? Are they beginners?
Okay.
Are we there to enforce the rules or teach the rules?
Okay.
Difference, okay? We need to understand that difference.
Okay.
But good point. I still have problems with the technology here. Oh yeah. Goal clearance. Goal clearance is the goal kick in futsal. Why we don't call goal kick? because the goalie cannot kick the ball. We call goal clearance because the goalie needs to throw the ball. They can use left hand, right hand, or both hands. It doesn't really matter. They need to throw the ball, okay? How long can the goalie holds the ball in his possession or her possession inside the box? 4 seconds. They need to play the ball out within 4 seconds. But remember, 4 seconds, we start counting 4 seconds when the player, when the player is ready to take. For example, the goalie and the team kicks the ball, and behind me, the wall is far from me. The ball went running out of the gym. The referee won't start counting right away because it's unfair. The ball is out of the gym. So ready means someone gets the ball, or the goalie or someone give the ball to the goalie. Now he's ready to play. Then the referee will start counting the 4 seconds. Okay. If the goalie don't throw the ball within 4 seconds, the referee will call an indirect free kick and the game restart as a, what do you think? How can we restart the game if a goalie don't throw the ball within 4 seconds? Is a free kick or is a corner? 2 options.
Indirect free kick.
Well done, Fielding. Indirect free kick against that goalie. Excellent. Okay, so that's the goal clearance. A few things that we should talk about here. FIFA's rule. That's the book we are following. That's the game we follow. If the goalie throws the ball, and goalies, it doesn't matter the age, they can throw the ball over the half line, no problem. If the goalie throws the ball and the ball ends up on the opposite net, inside the net, it's not a goal. So I cannot score with my hand. Okay. Now, if the ball bounces off anyone in this trajectory, I don't know if this is the word, in this path, if the ball hits someone and end up in, then it's a goal. Okay, so this is a possibility. So in the past, back in the days, the ball should touch the defensive court to go over in a goal clearance. Nowadays, I'm sorry, excuse me. Nowadays, you can throw the ball any place on the court. Marcelo?
Yeah, this is I'm curious to know why many people still talk about like the half line to pass the ball, because this changed in 96. So 96, we're talking almost 25 years. This is true, 25? Is that, I'm wrong? No, I'm wrong. I'm right, I'm wrong. Is that 24, 25? Is that?
What, from now? I don't know. What's that? I don't know.
Yeah, still people think that you cannot throw the ball over the half line. And this changed in 96. So it's a long time ago. Many people never play with this kind of rules. They still think about. So the goalie can throw the ball. Of course, the game is terrible. The guys throw the ball every time. Boom, 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 boom. FIFA rules. Some federation for young guys, they don't allow it to throw the ball.
Okay, so true or false? A goalkeeper cannot throw the ball directly to the other half without bouncing it first in their half during the time of goal clearance. That's a question. It's a comment. So the comment is a goalkeeper cannot throw the ball directly to the other half without bouncing it first in their half during the time of goal clearance.
He can.
He can. Okay. Oh, he can.
This change
You are allowed.
You are allowed. Okay.
Yeah, in a goal clearance, let's try to make this, I think, simple. Goal clearance. The goalie needs to throw the ball.
Yeah.
That's the first step. Cannot use his feet.
Yeah.
Second, and very important information, within 4 seconds, when he's ready or she is ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Third information, and very important information, following FIFA's book. The goal clearance can be played at any point of the court.
Okay.
Period. in the air or on the ground. The ball doesn't need to bounce in any part of the court, like in the past, used to be in the past. So the goalie can throw the ball even inside the other area if he wants or she wants.
Okay.
So that's
Gently.
what the book says right now, and not right now, as Marcelo said. There's a in futsal. Remember, maybe indoor. I don't have experience with indoor soccer. Maybe indoor soccer is slightly different, and we have a few rules. I was told that we have a rule that the goalie cannot throw either the ball must bounce on the defensive court, or he cannot throw the ball inside the opposition area. But in futsal, you can. So if you're playing futsal following the FIFA rules, then you can do that. Of course, leagues and tournaments, they can adapt the rule the way they prefer. But if you are watching, I don't know, Argentina, which is the World Cup champions, last World Cup champions, and Canada, if they are playing together against each other, you're going to see goalies throwing the ball at any point of the court. So that's the rule right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Corner is similar to soccer. Again, similar to soccer. You can score from a corner. Let's go again. You can score from a corner. The ball must be stationary. There will be an arc like soccer at the corner of the pitch. Actually four of them. The ball needs to be inside of that to take the corner. And the ball is in play as soon as the ball starts moving. So the ball doesn't need to leave the arc to be in play. As soon as I touch the ball is in play. And then again, lots of ifs. Goal clearance, again, we have lots of ifs. Corners, we have lots of ifs. We are not going to go over all of them, but basically that's a corner. You can score out of a corner like in soccer. The ball must be stationary. You must take within 4 seconds. And the ball is in play as soon as the player touches the ball. So basically those are the rules. I'll try to put a video here that express corner. I don't know. Can you see the video?
Yep.
Okay.
Starting play and is awarded when the ball passes over the goal line, having last been touched by a member of the defending team. The corner is taken with the ball placed in the arc at the nearest corner and is taken by a member of the attacking team. The opponents must remain at least 5 meters away from the corner arc until the ball is in play. The player taking the corner cannot touch the ball a second time until it has touched another player.
And you can score direct.
It can be scored directly from a corner, but only against the opposing team.
This
Law 18. The corner kick. The corner kick is another method of race.
This rule is very important because at the end at the end of the comment, the commentator said you can score directly from a corner on the opposition net. So if I'm taking a corner and for any reason I play this ball back towards my net and I score, it's not a goal. It's a corner. So remember those ifs. We have a lot. Corner has its own. And then we need to understand. So I cannot score in my own net if I'm taking the corner. Directly, no. Okay, so again, lots of if situations. We're not going over all of them. And I think we're done in our presentation here. Let me see. Yep.
So, okay, so I have a question. So during, say, an international match, how complicated can the rules actually get? Like, I know in the Canadian system, we're pretty, like, it's baseline, but like, how deep do you go with all these different scenarios of, I don't know, corner kick and goal clearance? How, like, is it typical to get that deep into the rules?
Marcelo, do you want to? I think Marcelo has a very good, very good story.
If the guys know the rules, the players.
No, my question is how complicated. So what we've talked today is just the broad strokes of the rules of futsal, right? Some rules we've talked about, some rules we haven't. So at international matches, how complicated do the rules actually get? Like, is it, do you have different situations? Like, are you going to go deep in some of the situations?
Interpretation. You
Okay.
have some interpretation from the ref that's a little bit different than like a South American Euro. Like
Okay.
in Euro, the referee from Euro, the game has more contact than in South America for sure. In the two, I'm gonna say that the most of the referees come from that place. When you go to the World Cup, if you have a game in Brazil, Japan, you're gonna have a referee from Germany, Spain, Portugal guy.
Yeah.
So when there's a game Argentina, like the last final was Argentina versus Russia.
Okay.
European referee for sure. Spain probably because it has a big league. So it's like the game is a little bit different. I found, but these guys, even in Canada, what I can see, like if you talk about Canada team, sometimes the guys are naive.
Okay.
Naive by the rules. And when you're gonna face a team that's more experienced, so makes different when you know what's happened, because when you try to check what's going on, the other team can restart the game and you'll be in trouble because if you don't know what's going on in the game.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say you don't understand why the guy called the direct free kick. The guys put the ball, you're gonna organize your wall, and you are in a hurry, your wall is not okay. The guys know they have a set piece, they score.
They score. Okay.
Yeah, everything go wrong.
Everything go wrong. Okay. Question from the guys. If you were to change one rule, what would it be?
But the point is, let's think about like the game. I don't like this ball over the half line. Let's see. In 2000 they change. If you have in 2000 when you have a World Cup, they change some rules when you have the World Cup. So when I talk to you, we have a change in 2000 or 2012. The goal always there is a World Cup time. In 2000, before the World Cup, in Brazil, they are changed about to throw the ball. If you have a goal kick, imagine goal clearance, you are not allowed to throw the ball over the half line. If the goalie saved the ball was, the game was running, you could throw the ball over the half line. So this one rule the guys try in 2000. I remember because some teams, my team, I asked to kick the ball out and pressure. Because if the other team don't know how to make a rotation, they don't know how to escape, they need to throw the ball, touch before the half line, my team gonna get the ball to score. So these I remember. So don't kick in the net from far, kick out, because the goalie could grab the ball. So it was important for the goalie to save the ball, because he could do the counter-attack. If the ball goes out, no. But this didn't work. I think this changed the game. I prefer you need to start the ball in the back. I prefer you need to touch before the half line. I prefer as a coach, because the ball goes, normally you can see the games, the guys throw the ball every time. I think like in Brazil, the little kids, they cannot, in São Paulo, they cannot throw the ball over the half line. And normally what's happened is some teams, they come from opposite side, the foot. So the right side, the kid is left footer. So the goalie roll the ball and the kid, boom, kick the ball. You 9, you 9, you 11. Yeah.
So answering Bader's question is, for me, There's a rule that we haven't talked, and the specific part of the rule is timeouts. So we just briefly said that every team has the chance to have a timeout per half. It's 1 minute long. But the way the procedure is something that we can talk about briefly. Like, how can I ask a timeout in futsal? I'm going to have a card on my bench, so as the other coach. And then if I want the timeout, I need to go on the table, the referee table, and give the timeout card to the third or the fourth referee. Okay. And then the next ball possession, that's the rule. The next ball possession, I'll have my timeout. What's the problem here? If my team has a free kick, okay, I have a free kick by the box. Normally, what we do as a coach, we look the way the wall is, the way the goalie put the wall, and then we ask the timeout. So based on the defense, we organize our attack. So this is tactical. But because of the rule, we cannot make this. So we cannot change anything. And I think the game could be more dynamic if we could make our decisions, our tactical decisions at all time. In basketball, players can ask timeout. In futsal, coach or someone on the bench needs to hand out the card. That's the official rule. In tournaments and leagues here and there, we are going to have different ways to do this. But that's one that I would be like happy to see if we could change, because doesn't change entirely the game, but changes the game. Another rule that it's been talked, a few that's people that work for FIFA are talking about, is like in India, we had the Premier League 3 years ago, I think 4 years ago, and then they were playing 4 periods of 10 minutes like NBA. To make the game more, I'm going to use this word, I don't know if this is the word in English, sellable, to sell the game, to get, if I want to sell this as a product and gather more sponsors, I need to make this game more sellable. What I'm trying to use the word sellable here is, if I have more breaks, I have more sponsorships, more brands showing up, and then I can have more money to make the game better. I'm thinking about the professional level, but of course, if I have a professional team in my club, and then I have some money coming into, I'm gonna organize the whole structure from up to down. So to make the game maybe better, one thing that I would like to see, if we could play 4 periods of 10, 12, I don't know the period, the time, but not only 2 halves, but 4 periods. That's one thing. The other topic that people are talking right now is rethinking the goalie's participation. Some guys are leaning towards letting the goalie play as a soccer, unlimited touches in the whole court. Some guys are talking about letting the goalie play unlimited touches inside the box, inside his own area. I don't know. But I think the goalie rule nowadays is an important rule that makes the game more dynamic. It's where you are going to watch the game, because that's where the action will actually happen. Because if I put a flying goalie to play, then if I don't do this properly, the other team can get the ball and score. And then I'm playing 5 versus 4, but maybe the other team, the defenders, will score more than me. So I need to do this properly. But for those who are watching, again, trying to make the game better for whoever is buying and consuming the game, I want to see goals. I want to see the dynamic. I don't want to see guys defending and 0-0. So
okay, so I have a question. If you went to say 4 quarters or 4 periods for 10 minutes each, would you do that in the youth development? Like, would you do it for youth development, or would you only do it for international matches? Because would it impact youth, or would you still do the smaller game, like the different times for game?
I can answer this question in my end, and then Marcelo can give his experience. In Sao Paulo, Brazil, is different than the other states.
Okay.
Because when it comes to younger ages, you can adapt the rules.
Okay.
So the local federation, now BC Soccer, for example, which is our government body, if we had a tournament, we could adapt the rules. For example, soccer is played 11 aside, but for younger ones, maybe you're going to play 6 aside. Depends on the age, 7 aside. So we are adapting to make the game easier for the kids. Okay. In futsal in Sao Paulo, we have 2 halves. And then for U2 up to U14 in Sao Paulo. Okay. So the first half, we split the half in 2.
Okay.
2 periods. So if we have 20 minutes total, the game in Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
For the U10, 10 minutes second half.
Okay.
And then the first half, 10 minutes. We're going to get this first half, 10 minutes, in split in 2 periods of 5 minutes. So in Sao Paulo nowadays, we already have basically 3 periods.
Interesting.
Why? Why this? Why do we do this in Sao Paulo, Brazil? Because the first 5 minutes in U10, you need to field 5 players.
Okay.
That's futsal, 5 players. The second 5 minutes or the second period, you need to field other 5 players that haven't played on the first period. So I need to take minimum 10 players to that game, and at least 10 players will play.
Okay.
I can register 15 per game in Sao Paulo. In an official end, we are talking about white caps tier, white cap professional residency programs for futsal.
Okay.
So I can register. I can put on the game sheet, game report, 15 players. But I know that for sure 10 guys at least will be playing. Okay. Overall, is mandatory put everybody on the game? No. You need to follow at least field 10 guys. So in my opinion, this is better than only 40% or 30% or 50% of the match. Everybody is on the bench, has to have to play. This makes more sense for me. Working there and here, I work there in this level, in a few clubs and here. So I think the players are more keen to get that spot to play on the first or second half of the period of the first half.
Yeah.
Then only giving them the chance to play 40% of the match, even if they don't show up in practice. That's the rule right now here. So yes, I would like to think about possibilities to change the timing based on game playing and the dynamic of the games.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so in all the teams, they need at least 2 goalies or someone that play goalie. So imagine you're gonna play 5 minutes is a stop time, like the clock.
Yeah.
So it's around 8 minutes, 9. So you sub everyone. So 8 minutes, everyone, like 5 minutes, everybody sub. And after this, you switch bench and you're gonna play now 10 minutes. So for U9, I remember it was 5, 5, and 5. You play 5 in one team, 5, switch bench, more 5. Now you can do subs. You can put who you want to play. So
the third period is free.
It's free.
But
so
when I was working there in 2015 was my last season in Brazil when I was coaching there. Was the third period, let's call third period, was 10 minutes, Marcelo. 5, 5, and 10. Because back in the days,
in 96, it was 5, 5, 5.
Yeah.
I remember because I said, why you switch bench for only 5? I always complain that only 5. And we spend like 30 minutes the game for U9. Like you have the 30 minutes spot to do the game. Federation.
Okay. All right, cool.
There's a question here.
I know. Do you guys want to answer it?
Okay.
Like Andrea, help me here. So my question.
Yeah. So my question is any person here interested to play for the Canadian national team? What could be the way for people living in Vancouver? So the question is, if you live in BC, how do you get on the national team? Do you guys want to answer that? Because we have the answer. We know.
Yeah. So thank you for your question. The pathway to get in the national team, yes, we do have. Canada do has a national team. We would have, now it's completely different because of COVID situation, but in my opinion, in my personal opinion, we would have a chance to play again a World Cup this season, this year. We just played 2 friendlies with Costa Rica, which is one of the strongest team in our region. Um, and we won. We beat them once, and they tied the second one, which is very important for us as a nation, for Canada. The pathway is normally Canada Soccer Association. They run some ID camps in all the provinces, or the provinces that invite the coach, the national coach, to come. For the first time, I think was in November, Kit, which is the coach, he came here in BC to assess a few players. So one pathway is going to those ID camps and play. CSA always, I mean, they do the advertisement. BC Soccer, it normally does the advertisement here locally. That's the way they did. And then another possibility is every year, Canadian Soccer Association runs the National League, the National Futsal League. So our club, the Brazilian Futsal Club, we were invited. Once BC doesn't have a league, we try to put a league together. And then at the end of all that conversation, we were invited to put a team together to represent BC. And we were about to travel, and then the COVID situation happened. So we didn't have the nationals this year. But another way for you to be seen, or to the coach, the national coach, to see you, is playing for the team that is going to represent the province in the nationals, because he's going to be there to watch. He's going to be there to talk to the players. So basically, those are the two pathways. You can do both, you can do only one, but basically those are the two possibilities that I can see. Marcelo, do you have any other possibility that
Representing India in World Mini Football Federation?
Yeah.
So, and if he's Canadian, he can play for the national team. Yeah. So Kit came here to see the players, but he didn't select anyone. And of course, the date, it was terrible because it was a Saturday, November, Remembrance Day weekend. And the guys are playing the league on Saturday here. So I think everything, the communication was no good. It was far, it was in Langley. So few guys show up, and so I think it was tough.
Yeah.
But other than the ID camps, do you know any other way? Because that's the question was, how can he
ID
play for
camp international. ID camp international.
yeah.
That's the way the
Yeah.
coach gonna
yeah.
know.
So yeah.
The only way that he gonna knows the players is the. I think the ID is a trick because the guy can came with many players they cannot go. And of course, when you go to the national to play, everybody is there. Most of the players, like Toronto has half team, Quebec has the other half, so they can see all the guys. And of course, Kit lives in Quebec.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think unfortunately for BC, we're at a disadvantage because they have very strong leagues in Quebec and they have very strong leagues in Ontario, right? So that's the thing. Futsal is very well established. I mean, it's taken them 10 years or so, but futsal in BC is, I would say, is very much in its infancy still. And what the Brazilian Futsal Club is very much trying to do is we're trying to push the futsal agenda forward. But yeah, if you're from Quebec or from Ontario and you've been playing for the national team and you kind of already have a relationship with Kit, and you've been seen, and I believe, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but in Quebec, right, they're playing at a very, very high level. Like they've got a Premier League. So it's quite different to here where we don't have anything. So it's kind of, yeah. Yeah, that's the situation. But yeah, those are the two ways. I would agree with the guys. Those are the two ways to go. So, any other questions? Nope. All right. Okay, that's it. That's all I've got. I think that's all we've got. When's the next one? What's the next one? Next Friday? And what are we talking about?
Next Friday.
What's next Friday? I don't know. Systems? What? The history of the systems? History of
Yeah.
tactical systems?
Yes, the tactical, the history when you start the game and where we now.
Okay, cool. All right.
And where is the best teams?
Where is the best teams? Do we need to know that? Do we need to answer that question?
Which kind of tactical they are playing?
Well, I don't know. Brazil, Portugal, Spain. I don't know.
Yeah, you have like you're gonna see like some countries. Argentina.
Oh, Argentina. Yeah.
Yes, the champion. We need to respect. We need to respect the guys.
I don't know. All right. Cool.
Right?
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Jaden.
Thank you.